What the hell is this? What's going on? Well, Count CGI. I should have known you'd be up to no good again.
Hardcore, kid. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh, quit with the nice talk, CG Icehole. I know the kind of crap you've been pulling on my friends. You think you can control us? Think again, fruit face.
Okay, then. I always thought you were nothing more than a weak, pathetic waste of flesh.
Weak? At least I'm actually made of flesh, and not a bunch of dumb Gary's Mod pixels, you stupid psycho.
How dare you try to defy Count CGI? It's people like you that make me... Now, hardcore kid, I ask you, have you ever wondered what happens to people after they die?
They go in the ground?
Yes, but that's not the point. The point is, I happen to have a little present from an old friend of yours named Diamanda Hagan. I believe she also gave you Fritz the Cat and Buko no Pico. Am I right?
Unfortunately.
Well, since you're such a big fan of CGI films, I'm sure you'll just revel this one. You think you've seen the worst in what computer-generated interface has to offer. You haven't seen this.
What the hell am I getting myself into? Hardcore Kid here, and today I am going to look at some shit, and that shit is Where the Dead Go to Die. Where the Dead Go to Die is a computer-generated anthology film consisting of 3 shorts, Tainted Milk, Liquid Memories, and The Masks That the Monsters Wear. It was created by this dude, who calls himself Jimmy Screamerclauz, an independent filmmaker who specializes in making really shitty and really grotesque horror-themed Z-grade CGI movies and music videos. The animation is all done with an Xbox Kinect video camera used to capture the motion of actors on the screen. The footage is then added into Maxon Cinema 4D animation software and rotoscoped into computer-generated interface, the same kind of software used in movies such as Beowulf, Polar Express, Iron Man 3, Pacific Rim, and the list goes on. What does Jimmy Screamerclauz bring to the table? Well... Behold! Hugely obscene amounts of blood, gore, human slaughter and dismemberment. Disgusting sexual acts that make Caligula look like the Care Bears. Trippy, unimaginable imagery designed to explode your brain. Loud, outrageous, garbage metal music so loud and outrageous it'll make your ears bleed. This is hardcore! And it's complete and utter trash. Stiff, choppy, disorganized globs of insanity, shitty, incomprehensible voice acting, and god-awful, ear-rapingly bad music with some of the shittiest lyrics I've ever heard in my life.
The music's bad and you should feel bad.
Jesus, you'd think with this kind of technology at his disposal, Screamerclauz should be capable of making something out of nothing. If only he actually used his powers for good instead of bullshit. But, you know, there might be some good out of this. I mean, I am the hardcore kid after all, and this movie is most definitely hardcore, right? So let's check it out. This is Jimmy Screamerclauz's Where the Dead Go to Die. Roll the footage. We begin this nightmare with our first short, or should I say first chapter, Tainted Milk. As the credits roll, we see a boy with a baseball cap named Tommy looking into a well before strolling back to his house. Yeah, don't you just love how stiff this animation looks? It almost looks like I'm watching a cut scene from an old PS1 game. Say, nobody told me this movie was originally going to be in 3D. And if you aren't impressed with the fluid character movements and slow raindrops, just listen to this amazing voice acting.
Hey, Mom!
What is it, Tommy?
Where do babies come from?
Well, Hugh, why don't you tell your son where babies come from?
Fucking cunt, bitch. Stupid mark.
Because the lady in the well told me.
Hugh, do you hear this? He's been talking that thing in the well again. Aren't you gonna handle it?
Babies, son? You want to know about babies, do you? Well, I'll tell you all about babies. Babies come from the mistakes you made as a child. From marrying your high school sweetheart who you would think would know how to use a fucking diaphragm.
Don't blame this on me. You could have used a condom.
What's a condom?
Truly breathtaking performance, wouldn't you say? Let's ignore the fact that the characters' mouths move like their faces are paralyzed, but really? They couldn't get a girl to do the voice of Tommy? Nope. Instead have some 30-year-old white trash try to do his best Cleveland Jr. impression.
Daddy, can you come wipe me?
Aside from the horrendous voice acting, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about with these characters. Tommy is just an annoying dumbass, his mom's an angry pregnant bitch, and his dad is Bryan Cranston. They're assholes, they hate each other, they want a divorce, and Tommy is stuck in the middle of it. So Tommy's mom sends him to school, in the middle of the night no less, where he runs into, holy crap, black dog with mad red eyes out of nowhere.
Oh, hi, Labby. When did you get back into town?
God sent me to tell you that the child living inside of your mother is the Antichrist. We must kill it, Tommy.
Huh? I don't know, Labby. Remember that time he told me the devil lived inside the barn and made me murder all of Grandpa John's sheep?
It was for the greater good.
So yeah, this dog right here, Lappy, is apparently God's messenger, who's come to Earth because Tommy's unborn baby brother is evil. By the way, the voice of the dog is Screamerclauz himself. I'm guessing the reason he's doing that panting sound is because he's trying to imitate the dog's panting, but I wouldn't be surprised if he actually talks like that on a daily basis. I will have a chicken breast sandwich with extra cheese and tomatoes and a Diet Coke. I love me some Diet Coke.
You see, Tommy, babies drink from their mother's breasts, and breasts only have enough of God's milk to feed one baby. Then when the second child comes, their milk becomes tainted.
Tainted?
Yes, Tommy. Tainted. Yes, breasts are a sin. They were given to women by the devil to lure men away from the word of God. So God tried to make up for it by allowing breasts to feed his children's offspring. But after the first child is born, all of God's milk is sucked out.
So in this movie's sound logic, boobs are evil, God filled them with milk to feed his children, and after the second baby is born, the milk becomes tainted? I actually have two cousins who were both breastfed as babies, and nothing bad ever happened to them. One of them grew up to become a lawyer, and the other grew up to become a maniacal drug addict, rapist, serial killer, but he lived a fairly normal life. Lappy then resumes these ridiculous claims, saying that babies come from the devil's minions called shadow men, which are resurrected from the ground and live under couples' beds. Yes, they're recycling the plot from the Twilight Zone episode The Shadow Man. Frankly, I'm not surprised. Then, while the couple are having sex, the shadow men take possession of the fetus inside the mother. One apparently got into Tommy's parents' room, and now his mom is carrying Rosemary's baby. This makes no fucking sense at all. If Lappy is trying to stop devil spawn being born, then how come nobody else knows about this? Surely it's happened before. I mean, Tommy's mom can't be the first to have this happen to her. I mean, what about the hundreds of millions of people who've had more than one baby? Why am I even trying to bring logic into this? The guy who made this movie was high off his ass. And I'm being dead serious. Screamerclauz admitted on the commentary of this thing that he was high while he was making this. Hell, he was high while he was doing the commentary. Screamerclauz and logic do not coexist. Well, if there's one good thing I can say, at least Satan looks pretty cool. Although I do question the Davy Jones tentacles on his head. And if you're wondering why I'm censoring these corpses' eyes, well, let's just say I've done my anatomy homework, and last time I checked, eye sockets don't have lips. So, in order to stop the demon, Tommy and Lappy have to kill the baby. They go back to the house, and we learn a few things. 1, this house has some serious mold. 2, mirrors only seem to work when the camera is directly on them. And 3, Tommy's parents apparently don't believe in blankets or pajamas. So how the hell do they get rid of this demon? Do they scare the parents into getting an abortion? Do they cast a magic spell? Or do they call Richard Simmons? What? He is an exorcist. The answer is none of the above. Instead, Lappy goes completely balls out, digs his entire friggin' muzzle into his mom's cooch, and yanks the baby right out in a gigantic bloody mess. Look out! She's giving birth to Lyric Shooter! Kill it while you can! And then to finish this madness off, Lappy bites off his dad's dick and then kills him as well.
Why? Why did you do that?
Because your dad's penis is where the sin originated. We had to cut it off at the source.
Well, damn it. If you were going to kill him off, at least have him die in his meth lab. I'm sure that's the way he would have wanted it. And this is where the insanity starts. All of a sudden, Tommy starts getting hallucinations, and then he suddenly finds himself in some weird bloody chamber with dead copies of himself, as well as one dead copy inside a giant sphere. Damn. Who the hell has hair like that? Next thing he knows, Tommy is back in his house. His parents are alive again, and his dad is reading the biggest friggin' newspaper I've ever seen.
Dear, the cookies are ready.
Those sure look good.
My God! They're furries! Cookies. The next thing you know, Tommy is back in the bedroom confronted by the Shadow Man.
What's the matter, Tommy? You think the lady in the well is gonna bring the sunshine?
Funny, he doesn't look like Michael Leroy. Oh, gee, thanks a lot, Screamerclauz. Your YouTube poop skills crashed my 360. And no, there is no way I'm wasting $800 on the Xbox One. Besides, the angry, pissed-off hardcore gamer already has one.
This is my Xbox One. It's a piece of fucking shit!
So Tommy comes to his senses and goes to the lady in the well. A recurring theme throughout all three parts of this movie is that our characters are showing up to this well to figure out solutions to their problems. They speak into the well, and I guess their echo or a ghost from within it gives them the answers.
I'm afraid of him. I don't know what to do. You think so?
He's right, you know.
Who are you?
Follow me. Let me show you something.
Oh hey look! It's the incredible melting knight who says knee! The dude takes Tommy to a moon-headed body on a cross and says a bunch of shit that has nothing to do with anything. It's just a bunch of build-up to this.
What is your greatest wish, Tommy?
I wish my parents were still alive.
That could be arranged. I'm not a monster, Tommy. I'm only a messenger. You can't blame the messenger.
But there had to have been another way.
Perhaps.
Dude, you killed the kid's parents. There were all kinds of alternatives you could have had, but ripping the baby out of the mother's vagina and eating the father's dick was your choice. As a messenger of God, you're not very good at your job. But Lappy does grant Tommy one wish to get his parents back. How does he get it? By screwing the pooch.
Labby, how much longer?
Just a little bit longer. Do it for your parents. Do it out of love for your mother and father.
What the Why? So we're 15 minutes into this thing, and so far we've had babies getting ripped out of people, guy getting his dick chopped off, and then to finish off, we have a 10-year-old fucking a dog on his mom's dead corpse. I got nothing. Oh, but it gets even better. By losing his virginity, Tommy is able to grant his wish to get his parents back. And guess what happens? Nothing! Nothing happens! His parents are still dead, maggot-covered corpses, and his baby brother is also dead too. So here's the question. What was the point of him fucking the dog? Just to do it!
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer!
Oh! No! Oh! Why? Hey! Where do you think you're going? You're not going anywhere. You're gonna stay here and watch this with me, okay? Stay tuned after the commercial break where I take a look at the second short in this beast, Liquid Memories. Stay tuned if you think you're hardcore enough. Hey dudes, welcome back to my review of Jimmy Screamerclauz's Where the Dead Go to Die. So far, we've had forced abortions, dicks getting chopped off, weird one-eyed guys, pedophilia, bestiality, necrophilia, and on some levels incest. And damn it, we're only 20 minutes into this thing. Let's keep this ungodly nightmare going by reviewing the second short, Liquid Memories. We begin back at the well. Tommy is covered in blood and totally traumatized that he lost his virginity to a friggin' demon dog. And there's also this creepy dude.
I killed myself the other day. I don't want to remember. What if being born is like being awoken out of a beautiful dream? Then as time goes on, we become detached from that dream until it's almost impossible to remember it. Then as we grow older, we start having negative encounters with death until we not only forget the dream, but we fear it.
Nice to meet you too. This guy, referred only to as the Man, is a serial killer who brings people to this empty church, kills them, and then extracts a liquid gland, a memory gland from the back of their brains that he uses to edit his own memories for the Shadow Men. And you know what? This is actually a pretty interesting story. I like to see where this is going.
They come out of the wall. They come out of the wall, and they tell me to find more liquid memories.
The walls have ears, Eddie.
Damn it, I forgot I suck at Surgeon Simulator. We then cut to an alleyway where we see a prostitute with a double amputee. So what, she's gonna suck his stump for $10? Nope, instead she gets the guy off by jerking off his metal legs. Because that works. We then see the dude dressed as a Marine going around killing some evil smiley face dudes and then getting his legs chopped off by other evil smiley face dudes. :0. This short is a total WTF. I am D:3. But what's the context of this scene? The guy is still alive. How are we able to see these liquid memories? Again, it just seems like these scenes are thrown in for scare value. Sure, they're creepy, but that doesn't seem to be any point in having them. So the fucker gouges the slut's eye out and she slams a bottle into his throat, killing him. Cue more awkward, shitty crawling animation as we see her crawling towards the church, bleeding to death. I'm pretty sure a simple poke in the eye won't result in that much blood loss. The woman lays on the church floor begging for help, but the guy just acts like a total douchebag and treats it like there's nothing wrong.
Just hold me. Hold me until I die.
There's no turning back now. As soon as the wound is opened, I pull her close to me, and I hold her tightly. I hold her a little too tight and accidentally apply pressure to the wound, making the blood come out slower. This causes her to die slower, but holding her makes me feel good.
So yeah, she dies, and then he takes her memories and injects them into himself. Whoa, I haven't seen a murder scene this melodramatic since Alucard killed Rip Van Winkle in Hellsing Ultimate. All it's missing is a little Das England Lied.
Dear, why don't you and Scruffles come in now? It's starting to rain.
Coming, Mom.
Holy shit, what do you know? It's Slender Boy and his dog, Cujo. Yeah, at this point the movie pretty much turns into some kind of sick episode of the Slender Family. Although the reason these characters don't have faces is because they're not the guy's memories. In fact, as of right now, they're nobody's memories. They're anonymous memories. It's just a complete hodgepodge of liquid memories combined together into the twisted, messed up world of insanity. You know, every time I see these shadow guys hovering around in the background, I bet you they're thinking, gee, I can't wait until this movie becomes a big hit. We'll be superstars on the red carpet. I'm gonna be the next Luis Molina. Ironic, since just about everybody in this movie share the same facial expressions as William Hurt. Oh, of course. In a movie containing tentacles, you can't forget about the tentacle porn. Also, Slender Boy here either has two heads, or Cinema 4D chose a bad time to glitch out. Just when you thought this movie can't top itself at this much wrong, it pulls shit like this right out of their pooty holes. Thanks a lot, Cyclopsisopsises. So the big question is, where does the dead hooker from earlier play into this? Well, she eventually shows up as some bloody, big-breasted Slender Woman and says a bunch of garbled nonsense that, once again, makes no sense. But she is able to give us this movie's tagline.
Where am I?
Do you know what our mother used to tell us? She used to tell us, he's watching you, and he loves you. know what? I tried to believe it. I tried to believe he was watching us and that he loved us. But the older we got, the more it seemed like he was actually looking the other way.
You're having a good time, baby, but that won't last. Your mind's all full of things. You're living too fast. Go out, enjoy yourself. Don't bother them. You need someone to help you. Take the needle and yeah! At this point, I've pretty much given up trying to make sense of this, so let's play a game of I Spy, shall we? I spy with my little eye 1,000,000 fucking eyes! Now, I spy Lappy hanging on the cross and a baby still with umbilical cord attached to deformed woman. I spy a guy fucking the deformed woman with the baby still attached to the umbilical cord. And now I spy the well with the melting knight who says nay.
She's been waiting a long time. She needs you. We all need you. The world needs to be balanced. There needs to be life as well as death. And someone needs to hold it all together.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, Lappy! You're not God's messenger, you're Lucifer's bitch! So Lappy gives the guy another pep talk of shit that doesn't make any sense, mixed in with images that are so graphic and disgusting, I can't even show them. So this is the most PC I can give you.
You're trapped inside her mind. The mashed up memories of a whore. She knows that your testicles are filled with the tears of God, and she can use her holes to make him cry.
So wait, is this seriously God's interpretation of this hooker's life? Bloody mutated body parts and sex in the middle of a fucking reptile zoo? Who's giving booze to these goddamn writers? It's only a matter of time before they tear us to shreds. And what exactly is Lappy's role in all of this? Who is this mutt? When I think of God's messenger, I think of George Carlin's ghost showing up telling me how boring heaven is. Not a mad, red-eyed demon dog who murders kids' parents and, eats out of a prostitute's asshole while a bunch of goat faces are jerking off around him. My God! He's a furry!
I bet you want it back, don't you? Go ahead, reach in and take it. I got it nice and wet for you. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until it comes out of the other end.
In the midst of this mindfuckery, the guy wanders onto a particular memory where he manages to save his dog Scruffles from getting turned into roadkill, and by doing this he manages to turn a bad memory into a good memory. The end, right? Not quite, because now the man has to help Slender Girl out. So instead of having Slender Boy kill her, he uses his old memory to send Slender Boy and Slender Girl to the carnival. So, yeah, that's 2 good memories he's been able to create. But now the guy is trying to wake up and figure out if he's in reality or fantasy. So the guy goes completely Rambo and kills Slender Boy and Slender Girl before getting into a fist fight with one of the Shadow Men.
I don't feel anything this time. No love, no familiarity. I don't feel anything. What exactly is reality? How do I even know if this is real? What if I'm the only real person and nobody else really exists? If I wished hard enough, would it bring her back to this life? If she's even really dead?
Show of hands! How much do you want to bet he doesn't figure out a way to get her back to life and ends up killing himself? Oh, what a shame! I was beginning to like him too! Not? Then again, the guy kinda deserved it. After all, he killed a bunch of innocent people just so he could do his insane experiments. Why couldn't he just break into a morgue, find a freshly dead body, and collect the memory juice from those? Well, if there was anything that was accomplished, it's that at least he did the scientifically impossible and edited the memories of Slender Boy and Slender Girl. So it's happily ever after for the Slender family, I guess? This movie is a little weird. But we're not done yet, folks. We still have one more short. Stay tuned after the commercial where I review the masks that the monsters wear. Well, guys, it's been a long and crazy road, but at long last, we're now at the final short in the Where the Dead Go to Die anthology, entitled The Masks That the Monsters Wear. We've seen a lot of fucked up images from this movie so far, and believe me, it only gets more fucked up from here. Are you guys hardcore enough to finish this hell ride with me? Then let's do this. This is The Masks That the Monsters Wear. Before we begin, I should also note that Screamerclauz actually has his own YouTube channel with a bunch of his projects, as well as trailers for his movie. Check out the disclaimer he put in one of his videos. This movie does not contain any scenes of child pornography, neither real or simulated. This movie does not endorse or encourage child molestation in any way. But we do support children murdering their families. It's for the greater good. This movie does not contain voice acting of anyone under the age of 21. Except for that one guy, who's actually 19. This movie is not a comedy. Oh, I beg to differ. I think this is the funniest movie I've seen since Lorenzo's Oil. This movie will damage you. Damn it, I broke a nail. Anyway, enough stalling. We now start off in another house in the same neighborhood where we see a kid in a ski mask watching cartoons on TV.
Sometimes people do things to you that feel good but are actually bad. And when someone does anything bad to you, you just say no.
Pretty sound advice, but Sonic did it better.
Kids, there's nothing more cool than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good. So what do? First, you say no. Then, you get out of there.
So this is our final protagonist, Ralph Stanley, voiced by Joey Smack, with his voice altered to make him sound like a young kid.
I wasn't my mom's first pregnancy. Her womb was scraped more times than a windshield in the wintertime. She was left barren after I was born.
Wouldn't it have been easier to just have a girl voice Ralph like all those other child cartoon characters? Well, I can't say this was a bad idea since he actually does sound like a kid. Certainly better casting than high-pitched Eric the Midget. Anyway, Ralph is forced to wear a ski mask because he was born with an ingrown fetus on the side of his face. And every now and then, its brain starts developing hallucinations. You all know what that means. More epileptic imagery that'll burn more brain cells than Alex owns your face. So Ralph's parents take him to the doctor. Oh, and it seems I made the midget joke too soon, since his doctor is apparently played by Peter Dinklage.
The stillborn one.
That stillborn you're referring to has a name. It's Delia.
Gee, I always figured Basket Case 4 would get made in CGI. Cheap degenerates.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Stanley, but it's not alive. Every now and then, his brain will kick back on for a few minutes, which confuses Ralph's brain, which causes these seizures and hallucinations.
Don't these shadow guys have some other place to be? Aren't there babies to possess or liquid memories to collect? Anyway, Dinklage recommends that Ralph has surgery to get rid of the fetus off Ralph's face. But apparently his parents are so paranoid that they treat the parasite as if it's their own son.
Then we can even remove the deformity from the side of Ralph's face.
Deformity? That is our son you were talking about.
He is a cancer that is ruining your son's life.
Who are you to judge. God has a divine plan for all of us, and we must not intervene.
Just be thankful that you actually have a son. And don't you want him to grow up and become successful with just one face on his head? This kind of thing didn't end well for Professor Quirrell. How do you think Ralph will fare? But Ralph's parents don't give a shit. In fact, they actually blame Ralph for the stillbirth of his brother.
No, this should have been your brother's room. But it's not. Do you know why it's not his room? It's because you killed him. You killed him, Ralph.
But Ralph does have one positive in his life. He has a crush on his neighbor Sophie.
I was lucky in a way, I suppose. I found the love of my life, but not at the right time. By the time I found her, she was already broken beyond repair, and nothing I say or do will ever change that. But at least I know she exists. Some people don't even get that.
I really like your drawing.
Now all I want to do is draw. She makes me feel different. It's like she's got a light inside her. And it shines so bright that it lights up the darkness inside me.
I believe they refer to that as heartburn. You really should lay off those smothered burritos. So Ralph goes to Sophie's house and runs into her redneck dad.
Hey there. You like my daughter, don't you? No, it's okay. Don't even bother answering. I know you do, and she likes you too.
She does?
Yeah. She talks about you all the time, and you should feel very lucky. She's famous, you know.
Famous?
Yeah. You mean to tell me that you ain't never seen one of her films? Yeah, that'll be smooth 50.
What?
You didn't expect to get it for free, did you? Trust me, you want to see the tape. She's naked in it.
What? Naked? Shut up and take my money. And Ralph just pulls a $50 bill right out of his ass. Where the hell did he get that money from? He's ugly, crippled, brain damaged, and his parents hate his guts. I doubt they would be that generous to give him that kind of money. Ralph watches the tape and, yeah, figures. It's a child sex tape featuring a very sad and hurt Sophie. The good news is we don't see anything. In fact, the most graphic thing we see is the guy putting his finger into Sophie's mouth.
I love you. Feels like you lost my baby too.
Ralph tries to return and get his money back, but Sophie's dad tells him to watch it again and... why do I even try? Obviously, Sophie's dad is very upset with this customer complaint.
I'm sorry, Daddy.
Oh, sorry? You're sorry. Now, sorry does not pay the motherfucking bills. You being sorry will not bring these fucking customers back. Johnny?
Yeah, Dad?
Get Sophia her mask.
Jesus, what is with all the parents in this movie? You had Tommy's parents, who were douchebags, Slender Boy's mom, who was a douchebag, Ralph's parents, who were douchebags, but Sophie's, they're the worst of them all. Why? Because they put their own friggin' daughter into a child sex ring, and if people don't like it, or Sophie misbehaves, they put a mask on her and hang her from the ceiling. Ass holes! Where the hell is Dateline NBC when you need them?
Oh, now, Sophie, now don't you dare make another sound, sweetheart. For every sound that you make, that's just going to be another 15 minutes so you get to be tied up here. You're just a little whore. That's what you is. I seen him back when I was little. Back when I was little, you girls like you used to tease me.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you turn the volume up on your rock band microphone? Well, we're 10 minutes into this last short, and you know what? I have to say, it's certainly been the best out of the three so far. We're actually getting a legitimate plot, character development, and the animation has gotten a little better, unless you want to count all the number of times you see characters going through the graphics. Of course, Lappy has to show up and bring us back into the CGI hell. This time, he shows Ralph various images of the characters from earlier in the film, as well as an image of Sophie, and how, due to all the video nasties of her, Sophie has been damaged to the point where she believes all love is bad touch love. And now, Lappy wants Ralph to help Sophie out, because he has the power to show Sophie what good love is. The kind where a boy and girl actually take care of one another, have feelings for one another, and don't resort to physical abuse. Whoa. Believe it or not, this is actually the most well-developed and most coherent story in the entire movie. Is Screamerclauz actually trying to make us care for these characters and see if whether or not Ralph does change Sophie for the greater good?
Shut it!
Damn it, Jim! How dare you make me actually care about your movie? Damn you, Jimmy!
I got okie doke by little Jimmy!
So Ralph scares off Sophie's brother and takes her along for a play date.
This is my garden. This is where I spend most of my time.
Jesus, why does her voice sound like it was recorded inside a bucket of water? This sounds more floaty than Anthony Pritchard's Behemoth voice.
Oh, too true, too true.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
So it looks like things are going well for Ralph and Sophie. He takes his mask off and she touches his brother's face, and the two go frolicking through the garden. So wait, this is a movie that has given us various disgusting murders, mutilations, vile sexual acts, and now it's just gotten all bridge to Tababithia on us? Was Screamerclauz sober at this point? But just when it looks like this nightmare is over, Ralph's parents show up and start beating the crap out of him.
Damn it, Ralph! How many times do we have to go over this?
You can't let me and your father have a moment to ourselves, can you? You're the most selfish little boy on the planet.
Why? No fucking idea. Did it ever occur to them that they could be hurting the fetus as well as Ralph? No, of course not. They're just abusive assholes who just don't give a crap. Then Ralph starts getting hallucinations again, and they're some of the most fucked up in the entire movie. Aside from the numerous multi-headed shadow men and various jump cuts, we get loud screaming effects in the background. It's enough to make you go crazy!
Will you do something about it? Make him be better. Teach him a lesson, will you?
Featuring a guest cameo by Daniel Bryan.
What happens when you lose your soul? The animals start to reject you. You see, you speak the language of man, but we speak the language of God. He marks you so we know not to interact with you.
Levy, please, I want to go back. Things are going great with Sophia now, and I think I actually have a chance.
Amongst this insanity, Ralph is able to see Sophie hanging from the ceiling in her house. The scene then finishes off with Ralph killing an injured horse. Looks like somebody didn't like Equestria Girls. I need a jacuzzi. So Ralph goes to Sophie's house and... Oh, no. Please tell me I'm not going to deal with this again. Look, I got Boku out of my system years ago. I don't need many more of this happy-pampy bullshit riddling my screen. The murders and the gross-out stuff, that's fine. CP, fuck that shit. Eventually, Ralph takes his mask off, revealing his face. Looks like a giant pencil eraser with a tumor.
Please don't be sad. I'm doing this because I love you.
Hey, Ralphie, do you want to know a better thing to do? Take Sophie, run the hell out of that house, call the cops, leave the town, punch the clown, YOLO!
Get out of there!
Sophie once again touches his brother's face, and this causes Ralphie to start having hallucinations again. Goat face this, goat-face. This is a bad movie. Angry and frustrated, Ralph eventually runs out of the house and jumps into the well, and now we're introduced to the lady in the well.
You know that feeling you get when you find out the one you love has betrayed you? When you shut down. That's what it feels like to die. Until you're a discarded shell, rotting in the dirt, making all the flowers bloom. Then someone picks a flower like beauty comes out of everything. It doesn't. And the flower withers and dies.
Yes, I agree. Roller Coaster Tycoon really is a fun game. The lady in the well then says that she can't help Ralph out. Well, you weren't really that big of a help in this movie at all, were you? I mean, what about Tommy and that other dude? One lost his parents and the other killed himself. If anything, you and Lappy have only been making situations like this worse. So finally, Ralph is confronted by Slender Girl, who turns out to be Sophie. She says that while she does love him, they still can't be together because she's afraid she might end up hurting Ralph, just like she gets hurt by her dad. Rejected, Ralph goes back to his house and sees his dad watching their sex tape.
Sophia's dad dropped this off a little while ago. I'm proud of you, son. I know how it is. I've fucked her before. There's no feeling quite like it. When you came, did you close your eyes and see the face of God? And when you gazed into her eyes, did you peek into the Garden of Eden and see where both Adam and Eve went wrong? I know I do. Like father, like son, huh?
Oh my God. Kill him! You know, Screamerclauz must have had a bad childhood if he has to have these scenes where these kids murder their parents. Still, at least Hillbilly Jim finally gets his just desserts. Hello, Mr. Finger. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing good, kid. How about yourself? I'm doing all right. I'm reviewing a really fucked up movie made by some guy named Jimmy Screamerclauz. Jimmy Screamerclauz? Are you serious, bro? But before the nightmare can end, Lappy has one last request, and that's for Ralph to get the parasite off his face. Easier said than done, Lappy. Why don't you just go ahead and bite him right off his face?
You don't want to be second best, Ralph.
Well, Ralph manages to get about 25% of his brother off his face. So I guess Sophie is saved and Lappy and the Shadow Men are all gone. In fact, the only abnormal creature that still remains is the melting knight who says knee.
Do you know what I've done?
Yes, I do.
I don't understand. Why does love have to be so complicated?
Because it was never love. It's obsession. It can be tricky to tell the two apart. Lay down and go to sleep. In the morning, everything will be easier.
And thus the movie ends with the melting knight collecting the fetus from Ralph's face, and we see all our main characters together in front of the well. What in Satan's reject baby was this? This movie is unlike anything I have ever reviewed. The animation is a mess, the voice acting is crap, the writing makes no sense, there's absolutely no context or good taste in it, and it's an hour and 50 minutes of pure high-octane nightmare fuel. But you know what? I can't believe that I'm actually saying this, but I like it.
Are you crazy? How could you like this movie?
Come on, hardcore kid. Quit joking around. We all know that you hate this piece of shit of a movie.
No, really. I enjoyed this movie.
What?
Yes, it's a bad movie. A really bad movie. But in a way that it's so bad that it's awesome. It's bloody. It's ridiculous. It's senseless. It's insane. And yet there's something about it that just keeps me watching it. Plus, each short is better than the last. The first is stupid and unfinished, while the second just gets lost in the wheels of confusion. But the third does give us characters that we actually care about and an interesting story to go with it. Now granted, I don't like everything. There are numerous gaping plot holes and story points that go nowhere, and some of the imagery goes a little too far. But when all is said and done, am I recommending this movie to everybody?
No! No! No!
More or less to the people who are big fans of bloody, disgusting, fucked up imagery.
Are you serious? That's it. I'm done watching this stupid show.
Yeah, how could you recommend shit like this? That said, I'm gonna go watch the Blockbuster Buster. Good day, hardcore kid, you piece of shit.
Oh, come on! You guys wanted me to review a hardcore movie, and I did! I am the hardcore kid after all! What? Man, people on the internet are just never satisfied. Oh, Count CGI. He thought he could mop up the floor by giving me something like this. He doesn't know me and what I'm capable of. I have watched a lot of horrible movies before and survived them all. Yes, I've been in the danger zone east of Fritz the Cat, west of the Magic Voyage, south of Fred the Movie, and north of Boku. Nobody can touch me because I am the hardcore kid, and I am invincible! Well, I guess this means I don't have to destroy this thing, huh? Who'd have thought... Uh-oh. Oopsie. Well, tune in next time, dudes and dudettes, because Christmas is right around the corner. Have a happy holidays, and if by any chance you see an evil dog with mean red eyes on the streets telling you to murder your parents, just tell him to go bone himself. Peace out.
No! How can he sit through such a depraved abomination, let alone enjoy it? Impossible! You may have survived this one, hardcore kid, but I've got a lot more up my sleeve. Just wait and see what happens next time.
Well, let's see how that turns out.